Hey folks, yeah, I've been tying a lot of flies lately, but as soon as I have a little time over, I've been tying these ones, game changers. I haven't fished them very much, I have tried them, and they move so sexy in the water. So I really love them, especially this feathered game changers. They have so much life in them, and if you tie them with hen feathers and like I do with a little bit of ice dubbing, as you can see, they are super sexy. And I really like this color of them, like a little brown grayish, yeah, and with a little bit of flash in them. So today we are actually tying this game changer, so hope you will like it. We will start. And with game changers you tie the fly mostly on shanks. That is the trick, to get them to have a lot of movement and stuff like that. And I used this shanks from Spawn, but you can use whatever you want. This is like, yeah, you tie the flies on smaller shanks and then one size bigger and then bigger and bigger, just to get the fly to have like a normal movement in the water. And these flies, they work well both for still but mostly for running water, if you ask me. But I am not a pro on these game changers. I have only tied them and fished them a little bit, so don't take my word for it so much. And for the tail I use the same. Game changers is tied in many ways, but like I said, I tie them on hen feathers, hen saddle. This is our own NTS Hen Saddles. I have them in many different color variations, but yeah, so you can just decide in what color you want to tie them. So for the tail I start by tying in one feather on each side. I try to find a feather that is a little whipsy, I think, a little bit softer. I think it's called that, I'm not sure, but yeah, but a little bit softer than the normal feather. So I tie this in like this. And then you want like these different segments of the fly. So when starting, I when I start with the tail, I normally take feathers further down, and then for every shank I go further and further up on the saddle. So when we are starting in the back, I take a little smaller feather, just to have a nice taper of the fly, of course. That is the biggest. Oh, lost the feather. And I pull these fibers a little bit back when I... What the fuck is happening here? We take a new one. Now it seems to be on the spot. So let's try again. I pull these fibers of this feather back when I'm turning it, when I'm wrapping the fly. But now it's not going my way. Okay, let's try again. Now it seems to be correct. And I use thread from Semperfli. This is the Nano Silk 12 watt. And here I use iStub for the flash effect, the dubbing, or what to call it, yeah, just to have a little bit of a nice effect in the fly. And I don't take much, just a little, just a few of these and put in a dubbing loop. Spin it. And then just wrap it. It really doesn't have to look very good. It doesn't do that in the beginning here, so. And then we take another feather, almost the same size as the first one, and tie it in. You can have it slightly bigger than the first one. That is what I'm aiming for. Same thing here. I pull the fibers back when I'm wrapping this. I've seen a lot of people, they use like 2 or 3 feathers every time they're wrapping this. But I use only 1 because this is a kind of a small fly. Perfect. Then the first shank is done. Do a couple of knots, and then you can have just a little bit of super glue. Don't take too much so it goes into the feathers, because you want them as lively as possible. And then we had this is the first one, it's 11 millimeters. Then the next one I add to this, the shank is slightly bigger, so this is 14 millimeters. And this is always a little issue. So and now I will just do the same thing as before. I take the thread on the shank, wrap this down, do a couple of wraps like this, and I start with a feather about the same size as we ended the first piece with, the first shank. Pull the fibers back. Like that. That's a good thing with using a thick thread. You can just pull those stems off. Another dubbing loop. And I use, of course, this new dubbing spinner from SMHN. They are really nice. And like I said, don't overdo it with the dubbing. Here we're gonna have a couple of, we will have 3 feather segmentations, since it's a slightly bigger shank. Another one. Same as before, pull the fibers back. And if you haven't tried this, I recommend you to do it. Both to tie and fish, because yeah, I heard some of my friends, they are fishing these and having really nice, good fishing with them. Pull those back a little bit. Another dubbing loop. Some more dubbing to it. Give it a few wraps like this. And then another feather. And I like this size. This is around 3 inches long, and that is like a perfect perfect size for trout, rainbow trout, even for perch, perhaps. So I think it's just a nice size, and you can throw it easily with a 6 weight if you want so. Also, of course, depending what weight you will turn or tie on. So, another whip finish. Just a little bit of super glue. And now I will just fast forward when I'm tying this last segment. This is a 19mm shank. So yeah, it's they go up a few millimeters for every shank that you tie on. Let's see if we can get it on here. So yeah, now I'll just do this third part in a fast forward, and I will have 4 segmentations of feathers on this. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so now we will attach this to a hook, of course, because or else we can't catch fish. And the hook I'm using is a Ahrex NS 172. This is the curved Gammarus, which is a really nice hook for this. This is a size 6, which works perfect for this size of flies. You can use a bigger one also, of course. That is up to you. And we will start with putting on the ice. This is Dumbbell ice. This is the size small. You can use even smaller if you want, but yeah, it's up to you. You can use bigger also. And when those are at the spot, you take a little bit of super glue for that, to try to have them in one spot. Go back with the thread, and then you take your shank worm, this is a wire. You can use mono, you can use whatever you want, but this is a kind of a wire. That will hold up a little better. And you don't have to like turn it over, because the fish won't pull this away. But what you can do is to put a little super glue to it. Then it will be safe and hold up good. So let's continue with the feathers. And also, like we have said, decrease the size of the feathers to have still have the taper. Like that. And as we did, just pull the fibers back, then it will look better. Of course you can tie it back later, but if you're pulling the fibers back like this, they will get in shape already when you're wrapping this, or hackle this fly. And of course it maybe won't look perfect, but it still does actually. So we will continue with some dubbing. This is the last part of dubbing to the fly. Almost. We will actually have used the same dubbing. No, I am kidding. We will have two parts of feathers. One more here, and then we will, of course, end the fly also. Because we want a lot of fluff to this. You want the volume to the fly. So it doesn't look too sparse. That is not what is good for a game changer. So now will be the last part of dubbing here. I really love these threads, they are so strong and doesn't have a build-up. So now I will take a feather with slightly darker, which is slightly darker. And of course the largest one, the biggest, the largest with the longest fibers for the end of this fly. As the heads of minnows tend to be a little bit darker. Then the fish, or so to say. And now we will end the head with a little bit of dubbing. And here I just dub it normal. No dubbing loop this time, because now we will just do some 8 turns of this. Perfect. So if you like this, please give it a thumbs up, and yeah, I would appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel, of course. And yeah, if you fish these flies, and yeah, leave a comment and let me know what you think about it. That would be nice. And if you tie it up, yeah, please, yeah, yeah, just tell me or show me. So thanks, and take care.